All right, getting back now to the midterm elections. Republicans, as Stephanie was just saying, hold 49 seats, Democrats 48 seats, but there are still 3 Senate seats to be won in Nevada, Arizona, and Georgia, which means that the election results in these states will determine which party controls the chamber. And it will be weeks before we know which candidate will be victorious in Georgia. And that's because the tight race between incumbent Democrat Raphael Warnock and Republican challenger Herschel Walker is headed to a runoff. That's going to happen on December 6th. And then in Arizona, incumbent Democrat Mark Kelly saw his lead over Republican challenger Blake Masters narrow overnight. He's still leading by a margin of just over 95,000 votes, with 31% of the vote still yet to be counted. In Nevada, Republican Adam Laxalt is still holding a thin lead, just over 15,000 votes over incumbent Democrat Catherine Cortez Masto. There are still votes to be counted there. Let's get you right out to national correspondent James Packard, joining us now live from Las Vegas with the very latest on this. And James, this is another decisive race into determining who is going to control Congress. What are you seeing right now? What is the very latest?
Well, Veronica, you mentioned that we were getting a 15,000 vote margin now between Adam Laxalt and Catherine Cortez Masto. It has shrunk, and we expect it to continue to shrink. Some 56,000 drop box ballots that are going to be processed today and hopefully released in a new tranche of vote report that we get tonight here in Clark County. That is expected to further close that gap between Catherine Cortez Masto and Adam Laxalt. But the Clark County Registrar of Voters, who is updating reporters as we speak, said that the number of mail-in ballots they received today was just 626. That is a very low number and likely to be good for the Republican Senate candidate, Adam Laxalt. This Clark County Department of Elections spent a good amount of time talking about some very misleading claims from the former president, who claimed on his social media app that Clark County had a corrupt voting system and that officials here and in Arizona were looking for, quote-unquote, more time to cheat. The Registrar of Voters has been very clear about the process here. This is a long process, in part because they have a limited number of workers, but they also have to process all the mail-in ballots they get until through Saturday. That is the state law here. You have a mail-in ballot postmarked by Election Day. It can still arrive until Saturday and be counted. On top of that, if they get a ballot that doesn't have a signature that matches the signature they have for that voter on file, they have to give that voter an opportunity to, quote-unquote, cure that ballot or fix the discrepancy so that their vote counts. And they have until Monday to get that done. So there is not a cheating process that's being extended here. This is state law. This is how it's always been. And it is a lengthy process, Veronica. So it could be at least until tonight, if not several more days, before we really know how the Senate race is going to pan out.
Yeah, absolutely, James. It seems like ballot counting always takes a while in the state of Nevada. I mean, I heard that there were some 56,000 ballots found in a drop box, alone. So you've given us an update there on the Senate. Let's go ahead and talk about the gubernatorial race, because I understand that the race for governor is still pretty close. What's the latest right now?
It is close, not nearly as close as that Senate race. Republican candidate Joe Lombardo looking like he's going to have a much more comfortable lead over incumbent Democratic Governor Steve Sisolak. It's going to be much harder for Steve Sisolak to close that gap, and he isn't looking like he's going to be able to come back at this point. But again, we don't want to say anything until it's over, because this process simply is not done yet. But a lot of the ballots that were coming in for Joe Lombardo in Washoe County, up where Reno is, helped him quite a bit. And then the low number of mail-in ballots that are still trickling in here in Clark County, which favors Steve Sisolak, don't bode too well for the incumbent Democratic governor. So Joe Lombardo is definitely in a better position to win at this point. But again, I'll just underscore, Veronica, this is not over.
Yeah, people just need to be patient right about now. James Packard reporting live from Las Vegas. James, thank you so much. So from recreational marijuana to laws on abortion rights and Medicaid expansion, voters across the nation voted on several key measures that weren't able to get through Congress or state houses.